It's a possibility, at least.
People hate that here. No.
Yeah, it seems really bad, and InFamous has only run it once in the off lane.
C teams pick it. C teams pick Nyx in every single meta game. It's just like it's always been there. It's very often 4 position though. So I want to see. I think when you have Disruptor, I always like you to have a hero that forces the enemy team to run away. So I think that's what I'd want from VGJ. It's Jakiro, so that's an Naga combo hero.
It is. This is the first time InFamous has picked it this year. It's also, it's just a hero that it's great if it's playing on the enemy side of the map, hitting spamming liquid fire on towers. If your lanes go against you, Jakiro just feels so underwhelming.
Yeah, we've seen him before this tournament as well. Not as much impact as we would like to see.
Could you take ET here?
No, because he's banned.
I can't see that far.
So no.
Yeah, Titan was banned second phase by InFamous.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like it'd be sick ET game.
That is what InFamous feared as well. They'll remove that. Do you need to have heroes that wombo combo properly with the Disruptor or the Medusa, or they could bet themselves?
What about Earth Spirit?
Earth Spirit's okay. And to answer your question, Shiver, you don't really need things. Like, Disruptor is an independent hero in the sense that, like, he's just useful, right? Glimpse is, like, one of the best spells at team fighting because if the enemy team overextends, you always get a kill. But they end up taking the Nyx, which normally when you talk to the Western teams, like, they feel this hero just doesn't deal enough damage. It feels mediocre in that regard. Not a reliable stun.
Yeah, I don't know about China, but I think a big part of why it's popular in C is because they religiously play it in 4 and 3, and so it's a flex pick.
Yeah, for whatever it's worth, VGJ are 5-0 with it this year. Both Fade and DDC have played it. So probably going to be a 4 position here.
So if you see that though, it denies the OD pick.
Yeah, that's the... Okay, here we go.
Stinger Night Stalker.
Yeah, I think that they're just so much better on hero first Stinger that's more single target focused. They can just force the action rather than these execution-oriented AoE team fighters with long cooldowns.
10 seconds remaining.
And if it gets to the stage of the game where he's got like a gem and an Axe, it's super good against Nyx. Makes it really hard for Nyx to play his game, I think. So InFamous still need their Katara here, and
yeah, we're looking likely offlaner here for VGJ.
Offlaner, and then afterwards it would be the Sylar hero. Or I mean, Nyx can.
I guess a Yang Brewmaster would be okay here, and you don't have the. I don't think they're an Enigma team, but they don't have the best of solutions for BKB here.
They play fast with their lineup though. It's a good team fight.
Yeah.
I really like Naga against DP too, or Naga with DP. It allows you to set up. It's nice against the Dusa too. When she pops her ult, you just pop Song, wait it out, reset the fight.
They're also a big Underlord team. Batrider, and Batrider's the other hero.
Yeah, the bat is banned.
Oh, the bat is banned.
They don't have to worry about that one.
You need 2010 vision to work these panels. I'm telling you.
Radiant team back.
There's the Underlord.
6-0 is Yang on the Underlord. Tanky hero, and it just, again, when you talk about a series that's likely to be very early game focused, Underlord is so good at defending those tier 1 towers.
Man, this would have been a sick OD safe lane game.
Alright, what?
Do you think you can still pick it one?
I think it's really annoying against Nyx.
Yeah.
It'd be so good against the 2 cores though. Maybe you don't care.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with OD or maybe even something like Lifestealer, but they don't have a good bomb target, so that kind of throws that off a little.
Well, the Juggernaut is the one that gets banned by InFamous. What kind of boxes do the heroes remaining need to be ticking? There's already push on the side of InFamous. A little bit lacking, I guess, on the side of VGJ Thunder.
Right.
10 seconds.
I mean, so InFamous is the more restricted here because this needs to be a Kataro hero, and it needs to be something with a lot of potential scaling. VGJ Thunder can throw the Medusa in the mid or the safe lane and have a bit more flexibility going into this pick.
Not the best Morphling game, but it's an alright. I think it's an alright
Yeah.
Morphling game.
For which side?
For Katara. And
Okay,
they've been
okay.
going back to it quite a lot. And, like, I think someone mentioned in the previous panel, like, Morphling used to be irritated a bit by the mana burn, but it doesn't really matter that much anymore.
Dire team pick.
The Tiny that was still in the pool gets removed by VGJ Thunder.
They need their own carry potentially.
Yeah.
Is PL still in?
Yeah.
I think it's a good PL game for Infamous.
10 seconds remaining.
The question really is if Freeze is gonna play that Medusa or not. I kind of like him more in a Shadow Fiend type of hero for him.
I think it'll do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Be like full China and pick like bench carry or something.
Or you could just pick. Yeah, Vengeance Carry's good.
Let's see, it's gonna be the partner.
Okay.
Yeah, well, similar kind of idea.
Yeah, and it showcases. That's why they're going these heroes in the first phase, like the DP, like the Medusa that can go mid or safe lane. You can shift the tempo of your lineup so dramatically by taking Pugna in the 5th
10
position here.
seconds
This was
remaining.
Silat at his best, actually.
I
Remember
agree.
at TI4, Fiji Gaming, they got second, but they were kind of defining the meta, and he was playing those like safe lane, Prophet, Pugna, those sorts of heroes.
I agree. That's an excellent point.
Templar ascend.
Okay.
Select your heroes.
That TA pick scares me a bit. It is lots of physical damage. It's going to be able to sustain against the early aggression, but there are a lot of damage instances on the other side.
Sort of suits
Sorry?
the personality of Katara, right? You can style all over the enemy team with a TA, get some early farm, and just go ham.
We've been talking about VGJ Thunder being a bit of the having the upper hand here. Will, what does Infamous need to do to make this work for them?
Play as stable as possible. Don't lose your cores randomly around the map. That's like the thing that they consistently do. And try to drag it to like 25 minutes. Get early Roshans. Just don't make those silly mistakes. Don't
keep
beat
it together.
yourself.
Keep it together, indeed. All right, let's find out who's going to take a lead here in the semi-finals for GESC Indonesia with Odie Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Steve, and a big welcome to you today, Indonesia, as we are ready for some more Dota 2. We've got VGJ up against Infamous. We've just seen the drafts and the lineups. Fog, what do we reckon? Infamous going for that TA pick, a very sort of Infamous hero, one of these flashy ones that we could expect to see Minos really pop off on.
Yeah, it can be a pretty hard Templar assassin game until he's got the BKB online, though. And versus Medusa as the later stages go, it is pretty difficult. But we'll see if he's able to get that snowball going. I think what the main thing is, just like the panel mentioned, is they're looking to abuse that Roshan. With TA and Death Prophet, we saw that actually same cores by Fnatic yesterday.
Yes, we did. And that, of course, was in the pretty epic game that we had. So maybe,
Was.
if that's a sign of things to see, we could see something similar going on here. But other than that, looking over, at, as you say, VGJ's lineup, they finished with this Pugna. You're a big fan of the Pugna. Is this a good game where the Pugna can really start to overrun Infamous?
Definitely. Very good versus Death Prophet. It's a hero that's just that burst,
we
and
go.
it gives him that tower push early on. Because when you have a Medusa, sure, you want to take it late game, but you want to be able to at least push towers to get that advantage early on, and that's what that hero gives you.
Infamous.
And also, it's Stinger again on that Night Stalker is the neat thing. They won with it yesterday, him going a very unorthodox build, but it definitely worked out. He had the Force Staff, the Glimmer Cape. He was pretty much acting as that support kind of Night Stalker, even though he's a core.
The wards towards the mid from either side. The remainder of this smoke. We'll see if Infamous can find any kills as such. At the least, it does ensure that they get that ward down mid. Unbeknownst to VGJ Thunder, even though they did have that observer down before them, thanks to their cover of the smoke.
Looks like Infamous is positioning themselves for an aggro tri lane, since they're versus Disruptor Duso and Nyx Assassin. Disruptor Nyx, pretty weak support duo in the
30
early
seconds to bat.
stages, so they can definitely try to abuse that one.
Sort of weakened to the point where VGJ Thunder might even consider switching the side lanes, or do you think they'll sort of take the fact that maybe one of the other lanes is going to have a better time because of the fact that they may have to sack sort of a little bit on top against this aggressive try?
I think they're going to just leave this Dusa top anyway.
We'll see how
So maybe
things settle
just-
out here as the bouncy runes will spawn. Schofield's going to be kept to the side. Silo and DDC make sure that they can claim that top one. And in fact, the two down bottom also taken by VGJ Thunder. So they will get the 3 runes to start off with.
So it is just going to be traditional Infamous dual lanes, actually. The Naga, Night Stalker top, and then they're bringing Jakiro bottom to make sure that Death Prophet doesn't get shut down, and same thing by VG Thunder. So we'll see who actually comes out ahead in this. Mid lane, can be.
TA versus Pugna. What
Once
do you
the
expect?
levels start to add up a bit on the TA, sure, your refraction, you don't get harassed as hard, but the thing about Pugna is you have such a high mana pool constantly, you're going to be able to shove the wave in onto that TA, and you have that rage advantage, so it's pretty okay for Pugna. And as the game progresses too, Decrepify is very annoying for TA.
Yeah, absolutely. Every single time there's going to be that defensive capability to protect whichever teammate gets gone upon by the TA, looking for that high physical burst. As it stands, Minos just trying his best to use the meld to keep that Pugna at bay, make it hard for Freeze to come in and such. Level 2, getting some decent connections here with the meld.
Meld? Oh, Psyblade.
Sorry, with the Psyblade. And the refraction in now. Just Decrep trying to interrupt some of the CS, make sure that Minos struggles to get some of the crucial range creeps.
He's doing great though, 6-0 versus 5-2, pretty even.
And so with the lanes, did you say, going the InFamous way in terms of formation with the dual lanes, does that sort of make things a little nicer then for the Dusha? I imagine we can expect to see Sylar get decent farm on this top lane because of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fairly even lanes on both sides. It's curious just because it's a core Night Stalker, which we don't see too often. So it's really going to be a lot on that early game, seeing what the NS can actually make happen at that 4-minute mark.
Sylar getting some good bounces there with the snake on to Schofield. Freeze. Yes, mid lane seems to be pretty much even. Minos getting very low though. Has only got that last shared tango and the one charges. Lane will continue to be pushed in. In fact, he's got the refraction, but really playing on the edge of his life there. Minos top lane. A bit of a go was made. Schofield able to TP away just in time towards the mid.
Freeze finds a regen rune after burning his entire mana pool.
Oh, the dream for this Pugna. Straight back into the mid he goes, topped all the way up. Minos did get that salve out to him. So he himself will be able to hold strong in the lane, continue to trade farm with Freeze.
Freeze is just giving him the right click.
Again, so this Decrepify usage really keeping Minos on his toes, but as we're seeing at the moment, dealing with the pressure just fine. He has got refraction available. Freeze is going to play around with him. Refraction's out, in fact. Bit of a bait. Minos full turn, getting a good few hits, but Decrepify is there available for Freeze if he feels too dangerous. And in fact, Decrep used aggressively there with the blast, bringing Minos down low. They're both, I mean, this mid lane matchup is pretty damn exciting.
I haven't been
heroes.
I haven't been looking at either of the other lanes because I'm just staring at mid.
I mean, these side blades. Gotta be careful here. Both mid laners, though, really giving it their all in this matchup.
Freeze might actually have to just go back. His courier's in use. He's gonna have to be careful. They have vision as well, though. He does see the rotation coming in from
He
Schofield.
doesn't want to leave the lane, though.
No.
He really wants to stick around. You really tell that both mid laners having fun. But Minos, as you say now, but he does have the refraction and a salve very close to him. As the courier will be inbound. Minos with his own salve out. Freeze, as you say, gonna have to wait just that little bit longer. Well,
Dead even in the mid matchup.
yeah. And the courier was going to the top lane, but I think a few words were probably said by the Pugna.
Yeah,
Freeze was
no.
like, excuse me.
Yeah, Freeze really
That's
needs to
how
get
it's
that
coming my
regen.
way.
Yeah.
I need that regen. And up top, Freeze. He find himself a DD rune, and he'll get there just before Minos. Make sure that he grabs that one. Schofield is going to come across. Freeze just a little too speedy for the Naga Siren to catch, as Freeze will go back underneath the tower. They may look to dive though. They've got the root down. TP coming through immediately from Fade, goes for the stun onto the Jakiro. Doesn't quite have enough burst to bring down Miku, as he'll get himself out of there.
This mid lane's crazy. I don't think we haven't even glanced at the other side lanes, but it's actually fairly even. We do see Yang have an excellent time bottom, Stinger as well having a great time top, so fairly even early game coming out. But 1K lead from Thunder, in particular because of those 3 bounties, and just a slight last hit lead.
And no hero on the map really getting too left behind in this early portion. And we're coming up to that 5-minute mark, and we are still yet to see a first blood. As each team's, as we see, just been able to bring one another very, very low, close to the brink of death, but not quite able to push one another over it.
Shrine's available, Freeze is going to heal up, and does have the Soul Ring now, so that guaranteed mana will always be there for that mid lane. But Minos doing a very good job, Katara Hayama on that TA. with the switched roles, like the switched lanes coming out. Because usually Pepita is that mid player.
As we say as well with Stinger's Night Stalker, is there any real place that he can go to make something happen at the moment? He is going to hang around top. For the level 5, he's going to open up onto Sylar with the shield up. There's more than enough protection to keep the Medusa safe.
He can be pretty aggressive because, like we were mentioning, the Disruptor Nyx Assassin fairly weak early on in the game.
Absolutely, if there's Night Stalker, you can get on top of them, especially with some sort of backup from the two supports hovering around top. And
Yeah.
Infamous there certainly has a chance mid lane. The trap slow will be there from Minos onto Freeze. He has already used the Decrepify, but he's got the life drain. That will force Minos to back up, make sure that it breaks.
TA starting to pull ahead now, though, and has Ancient stacks to back up onto now.
Here's the go. Up top, they try for the attempt. Fade with a nice two-man stun to take Schofield and Stinger's attention away from the Medusa. He'll try for the TP, but the route is there, and Infamous will claim first blood. The
Great
tri-lane
play.
succeeds in getting a kill.
Yeah, I really like the fact that they're not really like moving around too much from this top lane with the Night Stalker, because the important thing in this game is shutting down that Dusa. So continuing to do that and taking advantage of those weak supports is crucial.
Stinger CS, as we've been saying, looking very strong. This is going to be a pretty farm Night Stalker in the early stages. We'll see if he does go for a sort of a similar build to what we saw him do yesterday with the 4-star Glimmer Capes and such, but with this start, much of a lead at the beginning, I think we can maybe expect to see some more orthodox Titans being picked up by in this game. So
Look
close.
at this smoke rotation. Pepita's actually heading toward top now, too. They're looking to punish and get a
they've
tower
got a
up it.
wrap around. Trapping in DDC, he'll pop down the kinetic field, trying to hold them back, but it's not enough. DDC will fall. You see Infamous there thinking about diving for more, but a TP comes out from Yak, there to make sure that Sylar is safe. To ensure that Infamous can't dive any further up top. Towards the mid lane, looking towards this TA. They've got the Decrepify slow to set up with the stun. Refraction was out there. Minos is going to be fine. In fact, they're going to look to turn the route there to cancel the channeling of the life drain. Trap slow as well. Minos and Stinger chasing down the Pugger, and they'll take the life of him. Freeze will fall. Schofield on the front, looking for more on Pepita. He's wrapped around as well. He's looking to join the party in mid. They've got the roots. Trade up with the Nyx Assassin. Go for the TP out. Will he make it in time? He does.
Wow.
Fade gets back to base.
They
But
will be able to turn
Infamous-
this into a push, though.
They will indeed, with the ghosts up and out.
Dire's middle
Infamous will
tower
push on. DDC. Now back by the net from Schofield, as he'll make sure there's more than enough space for Infamous to push in and take a very early tier 1 tower.
Great moves by Infamous. You can tell the way that they want to do it in this playstyle is they know there's a Deuce on the other side. They know that it's more of a passive approach coming out from Thunder, so they're trying to take advantage of that with all these early game quick rotations.
Still just under a 1k lead though, despite those moves from Infamous.
Yeah.
Farm for the cause of VGJ Thunder will still continue. Sting of this game, he's got the Shadow Blade queued up after the phase boots.
They got to get Freeze involved in some stuff now, though, because it's not like he can go back and actually just farm Ancients like this Templar Assassin is. He's got to get involved. He's got to kill heroes and get tower pushes going on this Pug now.
We're looking up towards top. Stinger on the Night Stalker, of course, pretty beefy. We'll see if they have got enough burst and control. Nighttime will be popped. Stinger gets dragged back into the kinetic field, and with 4 heroes there, they should be able to seal the deal. And put the stick charges, trying it himself out, but the body blocks come through from Fade. And VGJ Thunder get themselves a kill on the board. Now, with their mid up towards top, Freeze
is under
and look to
attack.
put a bit of pressure onto the tower there with the blast.
Did you see that play there by Schofield? Actually using the mirror image as he TP'd onto the tier 1 and then it pulled the creep wave to the right, so they actually can't turn that into a push after killing the Night Stalker. Very smart play by the Naga Siren.
We've seen before Schofield have some very good performances. And normally on heroes a little bit different to the Naga Siren. Those
Yeah.
more active supports in terms of sort of just kicking off the fights.
He usually
like the
plays-
Earth Spirits, the Tusks and such, but the Naga Siren, as you say, some heads-up illusion play.
Yeah, he usually plays more of those like disablers, those big team fighter aspects, like the Dusk, the Earth Spirit, the Earth Shaker, etc.
And we're seeing on the Desolator for Minos, he's light 1400 towards the first Mithril Hammer. On track to be very good timing here for TA, and does still hold his position at the top of the net worth.
Yeah, and I think I touched on it yesterday a little bit. It's like if you do that Deso Rush, it's all about going for the Roche. If you go the Blink, then you can actually start looking to go for kills and actually being a little bit more safe. But I do think this one could be an option of that Deso Rush if they can get the Roche on.
Minos, I mean, he was being a little cheeky there. Did come across and start to look towards the Ancients of VGJ Thunder. But of course, VGJ will be quick to make sure that he's not able to sort of hang around this area.
No, they're trying to protect that triangle.
Yep.
They're dire. They've got to do so. That's Siler's home. Nighttime in about a minute and a half for Stinger. And he's actually queued up a Shadow Blade on the Night Stalker. As you were mentioning, a bit of a change in the build. He wants to be much more aggressive this game.
Top lane, Riku. Hopefully looking to see if we can get anything in from the side. It's just a bit of harassment down onto Yang. Pretty beefy, of course, on this Underlord. Stinger trying to play around with him. They've still with the tier 1 top. With 4 members of InFamous coming in, though, they could look to dive forward. Pepita has the Exorcism available if they want to commit with it. They get the Ice Path onto 2. Pepita comes in with the silence, but will be glimpsed back. It might not matter, though, because the rest of InFamous, do they have the damage to finish off this kill? They do with the setup. Schofield pops the song, holds them back. Pepita's back in with the Exorcism. They surround Yang. Yang will fall. DDC will actually be able to TP out of this. But with the 2 heroes out of the lane, InFamous can get some pressure onto that tier 1 top. At the same time, Minos actually starting to put some damage down onto that tier 2 in the middle lane. And InFamous, as you say, they're playing this momentum, they're playing this pace that they need to with this lineup, and they're getting away with it so far.
Yeah, but like you said, they have to. They have to play at this pace because there's always that looming threat of the Medusa. They know that she's farming. Minos, though, consistently walking into the enemy Ancient territory and taking the Ancients away from the Medusa.
Oh, did he manage to get some of this stuff?
He got some on the... It wasn't a stack, but he just takes it away for now.
Fade doesn't have the level 6 online, and we'll be able to get some important intel inside of InFamous. Sentry actually going to be dropped down here by Minos.
And he knows.
We'll also actually get them the D-Ward as well. And they head over here, and Schofield, he's going to be able to spot that out soon there. Looking to try and set up, try and outplay Fade if he does come back in. Scan will hit. They know that Fade's still in the neighborhood. They go for the dust play, but Fade just outside of the range of it. So will not catch the Nyx Assassin for now. About 200 gold. Minos will have the Desolator complete.
And they're getting another... Oh, the Ice Path! Just short.
Oh my goodness, that was close.
They will get a D-ward out of this, though, from all those movements. They have to place a very defensive ward, but to watch the movements of that Nyx.
There's 2 sentries actually getting them 2 observer wards. One towards mid and one towards the bottom. And then talking about the bottom, the wrap around, set up there with a Decrep fight into the stun. Stinger will flap his wings, trying to get himself over the tree line. The kinetic field will hold him down. He's got the 1 charges, but he's been Decrep. They get the glimpse back. Life Train, do they have quite enough? He's still alive for now. He'll run. The Thunder Strike's upon him, but I don't think it's going to be enough damage. Stinger will survive. Schofield holds back the Nyx Assassin as Stinger gets out. Underneath the noses of 4 heroes, in fact, dropping the majority of all their spells. It looks like they didn't want to use the Static Storm.
No. And the last glimpse actually pulled him out of the Decrep nuke, out of the Nether Blast, so a little bit of a slight mistake coming up from them, but InFamous now ready to punch back, bringing all 5 heroes toward bottom.
Oh, Fade. He's going to look towards Schofield, but Schofield, he just walks off the sun. That's a 4-man Ice Path. They're looking for the setup here, InFamous. The 4-man Silence coming through as well. Stinger focusing the push. They're trying to make sure they can get him down in time. They have the route. The self-decrepify buys some time here for Freeze, but he's in trouble. The Cypher from Pepita finishes him off. InFamous, they take 1. They want more. Minos chasing down with the Deso. He's got the damage. Melded onto Yang. And
they're
look at
going
this
more.
aggression. They're diving tier 2s. This is the InFamous we know and love. Ice Path onto Sylar. InFamous, they take a 3rd. They're just not stopping. They'll get the Nyx Assassin as well.
Wow.
Classic InFamous Dota. That aggression, 14 minutes in, diving from their own jungle to the tier 2 tower and getting 4 kills out of it.
Stinger surviving during all that, kind of baiting them to go a little bit further, getting that 4-man Ice Path into 4-man max slow Psionic Trap. Consistently being aggressive. InFamous now pulling a 3k gold lead, 8-1.
Minos moves about halfway towards that blink. And this is the problem we saw there. You know, Sylar gets caught on top of. I mean, it was a brilliant way for InFamous to start that fight. That 4-man Ice Path into a 4-man Silence. You're always going to have a hard time reacting to that at this stage of the game.
Yeah.
There's just no, you haven't got the items to deal with that. There's nothing you can do apart from just wait it out, hope that you're going to get given a chance to turn it around. And with the speed that InFamous' heroes can take you down at this stage, you don't have that sort of time.
Yeah. And they've actually switched the build on the Night Stalker now too. So like we were mentioning, the prioritization of Roche, it's actually gone for the full Solar Crest. And they're going to have to kill this incredibly fast with all the Minus Armor coming out with these 3 heroes. They don't even need the Exorcism. And Thunder, they are not ready to fight around this area by any means with their heroes. They need time.
This is some Just incredibly quick gameplay from InFamous. We'll get it. Aegis into the hands of Minos. The money as well, certainly helping. This is, I said, you've got to watch out for this TA popping off. He is on track to do just that.
Yep, Yang getting spotted out here by Schofield.
No, he's around.
We'll just rift away.
He'll get himself out of this one. They do not have nearly enough damage to bring him down before the ult gets off. He's gone, he's out. Does actually head straight back to base though. Doesn't go out to one of the other lanes with that ult.
DDC.
Ooh, that's the damage of the death zone. Minos. And that's his blink. So 16-minute blink deso timing. It's the dream for the TA.
Yeah. They're really just taking advantage of this passive lineup that Thunder has. Stinger.
Lane, now coming in, but Stinger, he's going to turn with the stick charges, look towards the poke. He'll try for the TP out, but Freeze isn't making it. Fade. Ooh. Will get himself just away. The route not out quite in time.
And Minos will get a courier as well.
Oh my goodness.
So right there again, Fade. This is 2 times now, 2 or 3 times I've actually seen him missing the impales, and it costing them quite heavily. Losing Freeze under the tower there, and they don't get the tower either. It's at 100 HP.
I mean, this is just some crazy gameplay from InFamous. We've seen this in some of the games here on this LAN. They seem to be stepping it up, sort of that unpredictability. They're being able to work with it. In the past, we've seen sort of the crazy plays, you know, sometimes look a little messy, but they're looking much more coordinated. And against these teams like VGJ Thunder, where you expect to see this sort of a very high level of composure, they're just able to break them apart in these early stages of the game.
Yeah. I mean, there's no great aggressive moves that Thunder can actually do with their draft because they have a Nyx and a Disruptor as their supports, and then an Underlord as their offlaner to do so. This is just a very slow-paced, very defensive lineup. That being said, though, they do a very good high ground defense.
In terms of the pace, the 6K lead that's there for InFamous, you know, it's definitely not irreversible for VGJ Thunder.
No,
As
they've
you
got
say,
to do so. Yeah.
You've always got to count the Deucer in on this. And Sylar, his farm, continuing the pressure that's been put on, is not bad. Sure, Minos, he's there at the top 10K net worth, but at the 8K in the second spot, Sylar does still stand there. And you can certainly rely on Sylar to continue to find this farm, stay relevant in this game, unless InFamous could constantly make moves to get him down. But as you can see, VGJ Thunder at the moment, they're sticking together as 5. They're making sure that they can't get caught out by InFamous.
Fade giving them tons of information here.
They know exactly who's around. The question is, what can they do with that info,
but
Fade?
Sentry, the sleep actually catches all the rest in the backside, though.
Who are InFamous going to go for first? That's the question. They're trying to get intel themselves. They'll look towards the Underlord. They want to take Yang out, make sure that there's no chance of drifting away to save the team. Static Storm gets dropped down onto the Naga Siren. Schofield will fall, but now Minos ready with the chase. Looks towards Freeze. Does get glimpsed back, but Freeze surrounded, taken down. InFamous continue to take another favorable trade as they find 2, only lose the Naga Siren. And despite, as we saw, Fade getting that info with his positioning on the Nyx Assassin, it just doesn't help them when the fights kick off 5 versus 5.
They're going to threaten high ground here.
20 seconds
still has
Underlord.
some time. Okay, they're actually back off. Their BKB is finished on Death Prophet. Continuing to gain this lead.
InFamous just making sure that they can get as much done as they can whilst they have that Aegis advantage on the TA.
I do think that they want to close this game out relatively early, though, with their draft. They don't want this Deuce to get to that later stages. That's why we see Schofield. He's queued up a Crimson Guard. The BKBs are getting queued up from the Corzin early game aggression. That's what it's all about versus this passive lineup. Tyler just needs a lot more time.
A couple of team fights that they do end up going the way of Thunder could certainly close the gap, but as it stands, it's going to be hard to get them. Fade, he's heading over, but he's underneath the sentry. They know that he's about. He's pretty speedy, but the dust will catch him out. Stinger has the void, has the silence. They've got the ice path. I mean, InFamous this game. Oh, can they do it? Fade, Duns, still alive. He's ticking down to the urn. Is it quite enough? 19 HP. He's actually going to live.
The creeps see him. Gets 4 stepped away.
Run,
Should
run, run.
be okay.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
There's no random TA traps. Okay, he's all right. Oh, there is one, but he's going for the shrine, maybe? He's just going to walk back to base.
He should be fine.
He's got Tranquil Boots anyway. He can just regen up.
The DD rune down bottom. We'll see if they're able to get maybe Sylar's hands on that. No? Yeah, I did time out with the 20 minutes. Hurricane Pike now complete for Sylar. So he's at least got a little bit of a way to sort of help himself out if he does get jumped upon.
But look at this positioning that Thunder actually has to play in. They pretty much have to play as this 5-man unit. And InFamous taking advantage of that, going for more tower pushes, closing the map off quite heavily, getting deep aggressive wards down too to watch the movements from Thunder so they can take advantage.
Hurricane Pike also finished off for Minos. The farm just not stopping on this TA. As we keep saying though, the big test for InFamous is going to be that high ground push.
Yeah.
Without the Aegis, maybe we see them wait for the next Roche, get the Aegis and cheese, and then really go for it.
Unless they get like some massive pickoffs, yeah, they will probably wait for that Aegis and cheese before.
Radiant's
Aegis cheese and those
bottom tower
BKBs
is
before they
under
really want to
attack.
push the issue.
Radiant structures are fortified.
VGJ Thunder themselves find any sort of these
Radiant's
pickoffs,
bottom tower has been
they've got to be
denied.
careful though, especially with the Blink Dagger on Pepita. We're seeing this become quite a popular item now with the DPs. That sort of positioning to get that silence could be crucial to start off the fights.
Radiant are
Looks like
scanning.
both Stinger and Schofield actually had the same idea. They both had Crimson Guard queued up. Fade does connect the stun this time on Stinger.
But the opening, pretty beefy. They've got a lot of burst. Is it quite enough? In fact, Jang, he's already prematurely saying, we've got to get out of it, boys. And he will. They'll take them out. They do go for a cheeky attempt on Stinger, but it's just not quite enough damage. And in fact, towards the bottom shrine, Minos and Schofield, they'll find Sylar. Sylar pods the stone gaze. Minos trying to dance around with it on the sidelines. We'll see if they can get back in. They've got the song, holding this Medusa in place. And look at the TA, Minos. He's looking for the ones on the back lines. They've got the exorcism out. They look towards Sylar. He'll shove himself down, but Pepita with the blink forward. Get the silence. Do they have any follow-up control? They're slowing them all down. The siphons from Pepita as he just controls VGJ Thunder, allowing the rest of the team to come in. They find
Now
the next
Sylar.
assassin. They jump onto Sylar. He's out of mana. He's out of shield. A defensive decrepit fire comes in, but it's not enough. They've lost Sylar. The Medusa will fall. InFamous now, can they get themselves out? Miku pops the ice path, holds back two of them. InFamous looking for the disengage. Miku will pay with his life. But again, these aggressive plays from InFamous working out. And just
14-3.
sort of the prioritization as well from these players seems to be absolutely bang on. The song comes out, sure, they've got Sylar on the front lines, but you see the way that Minos plays. He's immediately past that. They've got that ward towards the mid lane. He knows that he's got to look towards the back liners, make sure that these sort of saves can't reliably come out from Thunder in terms of the pit with the root, in terms of the Decrepify being used. But they still get the kill. They're bringing Sylar down, and this, as we've been saying, you've got to keep this Medusa behind.
Yeah, and when you're playing on this aggression, when you're versus a Dusa, that means she's not actually getting to farm those giant ancient stacks, farm constantly inside of the jungle, which Dusa needs to do in these type of games, but InFamous just not giving that breathing room. We will find out Roche in about 10 seconds. And like you said, the blink was finished on Pepita. Minos on the TA, getting closer and closer to that BKB too. These timings are going to be crucial. And almost a full Crimson Guard, if not a full Crimson Guard already on the Naga Siren. That is going to help quite a lot versus Dusa.
VGJ Thunder, they are coming out into their jungle. InFamous are close by, and in fact, they've got the eyes on them there. Not going to make their jump immediately. In fact, VGJ Thunder just trying to hold InFamous back themselves. Minos,
Dire's middle
2.5k
tower is
towards this BKB.
Yeah, 15 seconds till Roche now too, 10 even. And they're gonna see that one right away with the trap. Thunder just continuing to have to play in this defensive stance in their base. Fade is actually on the Nyx. He's 0-3-0 with 0 last hits as well. Having a very, very rough game. Whenever I see Thunder actually on the rise in most of their games, it's when Fade is able to play very aggressive on his court.
And I think sort of as the panel said, it's one of the reasons why we see a lot of regions, a lot of teams sort of falling away from favoring having a Nyx assassin, and just sort of in any role on a team. It could be a very hard hero to make work, and there we have InFamous getting, again, these crucial Roshans. They've got their eyes onto Fade, jump forward from Pepita, they've got their trap down, the route to set up the maximum slow from the trap. That's the Nyx assassin gone, and again, Fade, at this rate, I don't think we're seeing Nyx Assassin again in this series. It just doesn't seem to work for Thunder against the way that InFamous play.
No, and this is InFamous' time to shine. They've got Darkness available. They could look to threaten this high ground.
See how VGJ can hold.
Like we said, they do have very, very good high ground defense.
They get the glimpse back. So Schofield, they've got the Static Storm down as well. Crimson Guard not going to be enough to save them. They'll break away. A part of InFamous. As the Naga Siren is gone, without the threat of the song to set things up, InFamous, they'll hold back. They've Got to be careful. They don't want to sort of throw away their advantage, and pushing without your full 5-man could certainly be a bit of a questionable move. And InFamous, they're playing safe today.
Yeah. Schofield stepping just a little bit too far up. He's very, very important for these upcoming fights with not only just the Crimson Guard, but that song. As we saw, whenever Stone gets popped, you can pop the song, or same thing if you see like the Nether Ward down in a position. You song, you go kill the Nether Ward, start the fight off like that.
Radiant are scanning.
Can definitely set up for some beautiful ice pass as well. Darkness was expended. Took about 2 minutes till night. Fade. Looking to try to get some info.
Do they have anything down here at the moment? Are they going to be aware of this? Nothing to really sort of give away Fade's movements at the moment. Going to head up. Here now, sweeping towards Thunder. Thunder on the retreat, just backing up. Root will come out onto Yang. They've got the net. So for just juking out the pit, the rest of the team behind him. They're not willing to fully jump in and commit on that stage at the moment.
I think that's the full BKB for Templar Assassin coming out. The line is drawn. They want to go for mid.
Peter's got the cheese. Minos has the Aegis.
I think next big item for InFamous at least is just getting a gem so they can watch Fade, because he's being a bit pesky, just running around like this. You know, he's not really making too much happen, he's just scouting the movements.
Quite a stat there. All of the 161 games the VGJ Thunder have had, this is their lowest game of the 25-minute in terms of kills. Sort of goes to show, if anything, how well InFamous have been able to sort of draft and play so far against this Chinese side.
Yeah, just great aggressive plays versus the passive lineup as we've been touching on.
Here we go, Ghosts are out. Fortification will be forced out. VGJ Thunder pop it. They've got the Axe now finished up on Freeze. See if InFamous can get these sort of kills, start to break apart VGJ Thunder. Peter just looking to get as much damage as he can done onto that tier 3 tower. They'll look towards Yang. Yang being focused. Peter trying to close the gap, but the 4 stars there. Able to get Yang away. Yang now turns, same time down bottom. Minos pressuring that tier 3 tower. They'll catch the Night Stalker. They have managed to take down Stinger. They'll get the tier 3 tower though mid. Minos really wants to finish this one off as well. Down bottom, they'll find it. So far, sure, InFamous, they've lost their offlaner, but they take 2 tier 3s for it, keeping the pressure up.
Shrines are available now.
VGJ Thunder, they realize though, they know that they're a man down on InFamous. They want to try and punish it. They immediately smoke and sweep out of the base.
They want to get some big glimpse kills to catch themselves back up, but all of InFamous disperse.
Dire's bottom
And they,
out.
there's creeps just hitting a range racks right now, so they know Thunder is feeling kind of desperate to go for these kills. Just falling further and further behind.
These towers falling in 28 minutes is a 13k gold lead for InFamous that just continues to grow and grow. Sylar has got the money for his Manta style. Something that's going to be quite crucial against this Blink DP, as we've seen the silences making it very hard for VGJ Thunder's cores to react. Cores that don't really want to be building a BKB. So the Manta, certainly sort of the halfway house that works both ways for the Medusa. Mid lane.
Looking for Sylar.
It's going to jump straight away onto Sylar. They're looking to try and focus this Medusa, but the save's going to be there from Yang. They're looking to take him out.
The Hurricane Pike!
The Hurricane Pike pushes Sylar out of the rift. Can they kill him? Schofield's got the song. They're setting up, but Peter's coming in. He has that silence. He'll look to drop it down. The Stonegaze will stun him temporarily, but the Juicer, he's out of mana. Defensive Decrepify will not be enough to save Sylar. And Sylar, he went full in on the Manta-style purchase. He does not have buyback. The Hurricane Pike from Minos getting a huge pick-off, and now they're looking for more. The Ice Path comes through, sets up onto DDZ. Minos moves forward, take the life of the Disruptor. They'll look towards the racks. The Ghosts are up. 2 down on VGJ Thunder without buyback available.
To level 3 Exorcism as well.
The barracks falling, and with no buybacks coming through, I think InFamous, they're going to be aware that VGJ Thunder don't have them.
It's 2 sets.
And with 2 members of life on VGJ, what can they do? Yang's got to be careful. Stinger with the Void, keeping him at the side. Push back. With the spam from the Night Stalker, jump forward from Pepita. He has the Siphon working well against the high HP target of Yang. Yang trying to get himself back to base. The Ice Path comes out, controlling this man. The silence is one on the poke now. He can't defend, but finally does. Freeze will survive. Buyback now comes through from the Underlord. Can they actually punish InFamous at all with what they've got away with? The TP's coming through. Looks like Miku will offer himself up. He says, take me, let my friends leave. They get the glimpse onto Schofield. They will be able to punish a couple members of InFamous, but overall...
The damage is definitely done. That Hurricane Pike. Unbelievable play there by Kotaro. 20k gold lead.
I mean, we've seen some teams of this land sort of, in comparison to what you sort of come to expect of them from previous performers, just sort of step it up here. I've got to say, what we're seeing from InFamous, they seem to just stepped it up the most from previous performances.
Yeah, look what Siler's now queued up.
You've got to. You've got to go for those big buck items. It's obviously a long way away from it. And InFamous, they'll surely want to end the game before he gets anywhere close to even one of the components of the rapier.
Yeah. I mean, they're playing so aggressive, taking advantage of that lineup from Thunder. Nullifier now finished on Minos.
Getting harder and harder for VGJ Thunder to play this game.
Yeah.
The TA pick, the TA play has just worked out so perfectly for InFamous's lineup this game.
His whole team. I mean, Papita with those early rotations as well. The two big cores on the side of InFamous, 708 on Papita, 708 on the TA, and 807 on Papita.
Worth noting as well in these pushes as well, Papita hasn't had to use the Gs. He's still got it.
And they're looking to keep punishing here. Schofield is spotted out by Fade.
They do get the stun set up. The rest of VGJ Thunder coming in, but at the same time, InFamous are going to be there to react. Static Storm is down. They'll take down the Naga Siren. InFamous, they're going to look to try and turn. They jump in straight away. The damage from Minos, it just seems to be too much. Sala plus the Manta Star, but now he's been silenced after the Manta Yang. Trying to take them home. The Stone Gaze will make sure that no one this time can be shoved out. Maybe.
Oh my God.
Nearly again shove Sala out, but it won't quite be far enough. VGJ Thunder will successfully disengage. They get the cores back to safety. Whew. With the deuces, it's still definitely a game where VGJ Thunder can hold.
It is very hard, though. We're going to find out now when the next Ferocious. 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
It's a DD Rune as well. Minos has got it, Fade. Heading forward, they'll try for the ice path. He's going to walk into it. Shove him back. Oh, here we go. Oh,
Lost vision.
Disjointed. If only that bug was still there from the previous patch. Fade still wanting to play around with this, get some information, because the rest of his team's coming forward aggressively.
They're trying to catch InFamous a bit off
Another
guard here.
sentry's down though. Miku, he'll be glimpsed back. They've got the control, stun him up, they'll focus down the Jakiro and they'll take him. Miku's out of the game for a bit. The rest of InFamous splitting up, backing off. They know that VGJ Thunder's coming across in full force, and VGJ Thunder putting on the aggressive themselves. They're going to take it tier 2.
They're trying to take advantage of all that the exorcisms down from Papita.
Middle tower has fallen.
Able to get one of their first actual aggressive moves coming out. Almost level 20 as well on Siler. That's the big one, so that he actually gains more tank ability, because he still seems pretty squishy. That 700 mana talent, though, is the big one.
All about that Roche as well.
Yeah.
Once again, a part of the map that InFamous is going to look to take full control of, and still, with the gold deficit that VGJ Thunder have, it's very hard for them to contest it.
I'm wondering what Stinger is going to go on the Night Stalker, because he's had the Crimson Guard queued for a long time, but they already have one on the Naga. So he's just sitting on 3,600.
Is there any sort of major item that you can feel sort of screams out from the Night Stalker? Any sort of utility item that they could add to this sort of push or such?
He might just want a BKB of his own, because then he can actually just pierce in the backlines and always get consistent silences off. If not, he could just go for some kind of like disable, either like a Hex or something along those lines.
InFamous just keeping themselves between the pit and VGJ Thunder. This slightly longer respawn timer on the Roshan this time round.
Look at the way they put sentries all around the area to watch in case that Nyx does make an aggressive move. All about protecting that Rosh.
Dire's top
Sylar.
has fallen.
He's getting close.
Okay, he is. He's making good steps towards that rapier money. Fade, again, as you say, the amount of sentries that are being set down. They've got the Yule set up into the ice path. He does get the spike carapace off in time. The root holds him in place. The self-fuels buying a little bit of time for Fade to stay alive, see a bit more of the world, but he'll still fall. It's Pepita this game. I mean,
Roche spawns as the Nyx Assassin instead. This actually could just be a free Roche for InFamous here. Aegis Cheese Refresher Shard.
and worth noting as well, I believe, looking at the scoreboard, this is a game where Pepita and Minos,
They haven't died.
they haven't died.
Yeah.
The TA and TP, flawless performance this game. 9-0-8, 8-0-8. There's just been no way for VGJ Thunder to deal with him. And now with that third Roshan under their belts, InFamous ready to pressure in.
There was a lot of communication coming out from InFamous there, deciding who actually gets what. They were just kind of standing around looking at the Aegis and Cheese.
It's so close though, Fogged. 1,000 gold, and Sylar will have that rapier. He's getting ever so close.
They've got a go time here. They've got a couple of exorcisms.
Sells the Aquila, picks it up. The rapier's there for this final defense,
Oh boy.
and they're gonna need it. The ghosts are coming out. Pepita up to the high ground. We'll see how they can catch them off with this one. The route for the sideline, Schofield zipping in and out. Pepita jumps forward, he's got the silence, the BKB the side, but he's just chasing them all down. The Yule Scepter throwing up the Medusa in the air, making sure Sylar can't react for now. Head forward, but they've already lost two. They've lost DDC, they've lost Fate. The three-man ice path comes through from Miku. They're chasing them down, Sylar. He's got the stone gaze, he has the rapier. He takes down the TA, he takes the Aegis out of the hands of Stinger. Sylar, he is holding for now. Stinger up with his second life. Will look to focus towards the Pugna, but Pugna's forced back. Stinger trying to chase the Solar Crest evasion, keeping Freeze alive. Stinger will fall. Sylar gets the double kill. The rapier pickup is doing it, Fogged.
Not having the Aegis there on the Templar Assassin costing them heavily. Does have the cheese, but getting killed during that stone gaze.
Sylar and his rapier. Could it really be enough to turn the tides of a game that's been consistently against VGJ Thunder for the entirety of it so far?
He's pushed himself up to that second net worth. They were able to at least save the Refresher Shard on Pepita, and the cheese is still available for the next push when InFamous does make go time.
Look, if you want a game, want to fight with a rapier, what do? You look for the second rapier. We'll see if he follows through on it. I mean, as we saw there, his team, they're able to do a pretty good job of making sure that he had the space to fight. So maybe he feels getting a defensive item on top of this is like, if you go rapier, you got to go full rapier.
Might as well, right? It's the full 4 protect 1. Courier. Not quite spotted. Oh, actually the split shot
He
just
gets
gets
it.
it.
And that is, I imagine the full-out Solar Crest gone. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, no, okay. He was looking for that Halberd. Or Halberd or Solar Crest. He just decides to build the Halberd over the Solar Crest.
Oh, I really do like the Halberd. That's one of the best items versus Medusa.
Yep.
If you catch it during the stone gaze. I really like that adjustment coming up there from Stinger.
Well, the tension you can imagine sort of among the ranks of InFamous will certainly have changed after that successful defense from VGJ Thunder. There's the gold lead. Turned around a little bit. You know, InFamous, they do still have, of course, the advantage. The fact that VGJ Thunder were able to shift that huge lead that InFamous had. Another answer to Sylar. Hex complete on Pepita. And we've seen so far, you know, Pepita's performance this game, getting into position with these blink daggers, just jumping in onto the back lines with the BKB, multiple hero siphons and silences, he has been on point. So you can certainly expect to see Pepita go at any sort of chance, any sort of window of opportunity, straight on top of Sylar.
Yeah. Ideally, they want to be able to try to take out those supports early. That last fight, they killed DDC pretty much instantly, so they can continue to do that and just try to isolate that Dusa so they can take the fights. But they've got all the lanes pushed in nicely.
Ooh. He's so close as well to that second rapier. 1,300, 1,100 gold, and he'll have it.
Quite a significant amount of damage he deals already, though. 600 without that amplification of the stone gaze still.
As we say, all about the halberd and scythe of vice plays.
Yeah.
Dire's bottom
InFamous wants to have the chance of shutting down Sylar momentarily in these team fights so that they can at least have a chance to pick off the heroes around him and then focus on the Medusa alone. Trying to get the setup there with the spike carapace onto the side blades.
Dire's bottom
quite find the
tower
angle.
is under attack.
InFamous just consistently farming up at least during all this. Say no Thunder is stuck in their base.
They have got ways to sort of help protect Sylar as well with the Lotus Orb on Yak.
Yeah.
As long as they can get that down at the start of the fights on Sylar, and maybe that extra bit of block that could help VGJ Thunder
It's
take the advantage in these fights.
It's the epitome of a 4 Protect 1. They're even feeding Sylar tomes of knowledge. They've got the Guarding Greaves, the Solar Crests, everything just so they can throw on top of that Dusa.
And that's the courier that's going to be looking to get that Demon Edge. It's out
boy.
there. There's a ward though. We'll see how InFamous can play that. If they can deny that second Rapier.
Stinger pops Darkness. Pepita ports bottom. He's looking for it.
Oh, he is. Taking it straight away. That's got the Rapier on the ward down. It's going to give them vision. They've got it. The second Rapier will be denied momentarily. It's going to be a long few minutes here for VGJ Thunder. We did see last time they can still absolutely hold with one. But to have that second Rapier out of the game for 3 minutes, this is a window that InFamous have to
To
abuse.
sleep into the split push.
They're in straight away. The ghosts are onto those racks. The fortification coming through from Thunder. Sylar, he's been caught out by the Ice Path. They're focusing this Medusa. Sylar has the Lotus Orb upon him. He's been silenced, but he'll continue to right-click onto Minos. Minos pops the BKB. Refraction up as well. There's the Yules into the Ice Path. They're holding Sylar back. Nullify as well. Down in Medusa, but he's ready to go back in. He wants to turn. He wants to punch them. They have the Crimson Guard. Is it enough to keep them alive? Yang focusing Miku. There'll be the glimpse back onto the Jakiro. Fade trying to have the control onto Schofield, won't quite find it. VGJ Thunder, they get the Jakiro, but they have lost all the barracks now. Mega Creeps are up against them. 2 more minutes before that Rapier will be in the hands of Sylar.
Great decision making again by InFamous. As soon as they claim that Rax, they just get the hell out of there and just lose as little casualties as possible. Now, it's got to be that Mega Creep defense. Can Thunder do it? Look at bottom, Sylar. It's a bit deep right now. Pepita's got the Refresher Shard.
He's got the Hex. The Refresher Shard will be popped. Fade for the 2-man stun, buying some sort of time to try and get Sylar out. Pumps the Manta to remove the silence. Looks straight towards Schofield. Got the vision for the glimpse back. Schofield dragged back. VGJ Thunder find the Naga Siren. The rest of InFamous are moving in. They want to take this fight. Buybacks coming out for the supports of InFamous. They want to get back in and help out this final attempt. They've got the control, but they've lost the Jakiro. Yang turns with a pit towards Stinger, holding the Night Stalker back. Freezing Yang, bursting him down. The Decrepify brings him low. The life drain with the Firestorm is enough. They find Stinger.
They got to get the hell out on the side of InFamous.
Minos hiding in the trees. Will he be able to get himself out? Goes for the blink up. With the TP will escape. The base
Fade
has to be defended. VGJ Thunder have to back up, but they're buying time.
Fade
50 seconds and that second Rapier is going to be there, Fogged.
Fade came in so clutch there. He got the mana burns on Pepita, so he didn't have the exorcism. So even though they bought back and tried to take that fight, Pepita had no mana to actually be able to engage, and they need that exorcism for the fight.
And by the time that second Rapier is out, Sylar, he's going to be halfway towards the third if he wants it. But they're buying time for themselves, Thunder. Now down to a 7K lead for InFamous. It's constantly getting less and less. And Thunder, with the Medusa, with his item build, it's arguably one of the best heroes to have against these Mega Creeps.
Yeah.
They've got good ways to nuke out the side lanes as well, with the Underlord, with the Pugna. Good ways to alleviate the pressure on multiple lanes at a time. Freeze also picking up the bots. They've got to be prepared for sort of rat plays, these split push attempts, and there we have it, the courier. It's back alive on the way towards Sylar. There's a DD rune down bottom. Minos will be able to grab it. And Roshan is up. We could see something absolutely huge kick off around the Roche pit.
All right, there we go. You know, just some 877 damage coming out from this Dusa. They've got every tool to protect her as well.
With the DD rune, they'll look at the speed, then InFamous take this.
Yeah.
There'll be no chance of Thunder coming out here, and to be fair, even if they were fully aware that this was happening, perhaps taking a fight outside of their base at this point,
not ideal.
They want to take it on the high ground.
Yeah.
They've managed to do it before, even against Aegis cheese pushes. They've got the double Rapier this time to make it that bit easier. Schofield looking for the song setup, potentially Fade on the front lines. They've got the detection. They'll hold him down with the root. Lotus Orb there to help remove it, and VGJ Thunder will back off.
Huh.
The first time Sylar's ever had the 2 Rapiers.
Only 20 have seen a third Rapier.
What a game so far. InFamous having such a lead, but VGJ Thunder. And maybe this was the plan all along. Silas says, strat this game, boys. We let them have 3 racks, I'll get 2 rapiers, and we win the game. We'll see if the plan works out, though. As InFamous still hungry to push. They still have that advantage. They've got the items to lock down Sylar. If they can get on top of them and with the consumables from Roche, they have those extra lives, those extra chances to take down VGJ Thunder's heroes. One slip up from VGJ Thunder and the game will be over.
Yeah, they have to play completely around Sylar. Staying in the base, looking for some catches with the glimpse. InFamous has to be patient. They have to play this very smart.
How do you break into the base as InFamous? I mean, at the moment, they don't have the Death Prophet with them. Peter, as you up towards the top, I mean, is there any sort of extra item that any of the heroes of InFamous are waiting for, do you feel, before they go again? I mean, Pepita, he is close to having the Refresher Orb, as well as the Shard. So they could look to have so that triple Hex, triple BKB.
They're kind of at their peak. They kind of just need to, it's all going to be through execution. If they can actually kill the other heroes on the side of Thunder and isolate Sylar on that Dusa. But it is quite a task for them, it does seem. Even with that 10k advantage, even with Mega Creeps, Thunder feeling like they're in a comfortable position.
Sylar, he's got the money for a 3rd Rapier. He's never done it before, and as you say, not many times, according to the stats that we've seen it. Obviously, in terms of his item slots, could he afford to pick it up? I mean, maybe. You could swap out one of these items for a 3rd Rapier. We'll see what he does. He's got a lot of money. There are obviously a lot of other items that you could argue are a little bit more sensible.
I think his damage is sufficient.
Yeah, I'd say with about the right click of 877, it's not too shabby at the moment.
No.
BKB nearly done for Stinger.
So level 25 starting to come out. TA, fraction charges, Death Prophet getting closer and closer. So that's probably the biggest thing that they're waiting for. Just get everybody at their absolute peak before they actually try to make that engagement, or just wait till Thunder makes a mistake. But they're just locked in their base. These type of games are terrifying to play when you're playing versus a Dusa with double Rapier. And they're starting to get a significant amount of gold. You know, these 3 racks is down. Easy to farm when all the waves are pushing into you. Disruptor getting closer and closer to Aghanims.
And he's going sensible, Sylar.
BKB, full protection.
Absolutely. Pop the BKB, swap the boots back in, go for the fight. There's ways to do it. Play around it with that sort of 7th item. And still lots of money as well. I mean, at this pace, could be the kind of game where we do see him farm a 3rd Rapier. Keep it in the base, keep it on the courier in case he does die, he can buy back, come in with a backup.
Yep.
Because they're holding, and as we're seeing, InFamous, despite taking the Roche, I guess, I mean, for InFamous now, I mean, for any sort of team, to be in this position, if you're InFamous, where you've had this lead, you've taken 3 sets of racks, but now you're up against a Dusa with a Rapier.
Illusion.
This is sort of very new territory, or sort of just unexplored. Like, what do you do as a team? What kind of decision is actually going to be able to close this game up?
It's all just going to be perfect execution in the team fights. And yeah, Pepita is definitely trying to get that level 25, getting closer and closer.
It's just so hard for InFamous to break through this final level of defense that VGJ Thunder have built up. Got to see who's going to have the confidence to do it. Who's going to be making the call on InFamous.
I had a game similar to this with Toby, probably about over a year ago, and it lasted for an extra 70 minutes after this point. So
I didn't know PUBG games lasted that long. Lane, Sylar just sweeping through these waves.
continuing to play patient. Aegis does get reclaimed.
Whew. Quite a game.
Yeah, it's
And
just,
it's only game 1 of the best of 3.
sure is.
These 2 teams.
Just all about this high ground defense.
5.2k on Sylar. Gold continues to rise. He's ahead of Minos now. Decent amount of Nagasara and Illusions going down this game. And actually Disruptor getting the most of it. will they push? When will they go, Infamous?
They're just hoping for a mistake.
Yeah? I don't think VGJ Thunder are going to give them any mistakes.
They are definitely not. They've got the blink now on Schofield. That could be something neat that they can use to maybe see where Thunder's position on one side and go for like a split push
They have
with
to
the
get,
sleep.
Yeah, they have to get to the back lines.
Yeah.
Blink and a song can certainly set up for these AoE silences, these AoE ice buffs. Sylar.
Just going to go. Yeah. Gotta be sensible. Templar Assassin does not have the MKB. Sure, she has the
She's got a
Bloodthorn,
Bloodthorn.
but there is a BKB available.
Yeah, there's lots of ways for them to sort of remove that and make sure Sylar doesn't get affected by it.
They're prioritizing DDC's farm on the side of Thunder right now, making sure that he can get that Aghanims, because that can be very crucial, as we do say many times.
If he gets that on top of, I mean, Minos or for Pizza, there's just going to be no way for them to sort of withstand the damage coming out from Sylar. You're going to lose at least one of your cores each and every fight, as long as the Static Storm's on point.
Look at the way the path that they're taking with their courier, because they know that InFamous has vision on that high ground earlier. So taking the courier in a very sneaky route,
I mean,
gets a point booster.
It's such an important delivery. It's the Aghanims and it's the Butterfly.
Oh.
Do they have any sort of walls to pop up in the high ground? Oh, the courier's going to come down. One hit. It's going to be protected. Schofield, Lunar Chase. Can he get it? No, he can't.
He tries to get the net on it, but
Oh, they keep the courier safe. They'll get that delivery through.
Aghanims plus Butterfly gonna be delivered. Yep.
This ain't no NA delivery service. The package is safely into the hands of VGJ. There we have it. The last hit record this land being set by Sylar. No surprises in this sort of game on his Medusa. 752. That's far exceeding the 10 CS a minute.
Stinger. The Ags Disruptor.
But
The
setup,
Song though.
The damage, Schofield pops the Song, but the BKBs are out. They remove Stinger from the game. They look towards the Naga Siren as well. The life chain bringing her low. It's not quite enough. She's still alive for now. But oh, he's got the range. Freeze. Gets the pick off. And now they're looking towards Minos. Minos has refraction. Does get the blink out in time. But InFamous, they lose two. VGJ Thunder, again, they are holding.
Really fast BKBs coming out from both of the chorus on Thunder to avoid that Song of the Siren and get those two pickups for themselves, continuing to hold on.
What a crazy, crazy game. So much more Dota left to be played out today.
I've actually just pulled up current gold for myself because I know everybody's just going to be banking money. Templar Assassin 8K, Death Prophet 7, Pugna 5. Continue down the Mars.
Yeah, if you're Minos, what do you do? I mean, are you sort of feeling yourself, maybe I want a Rapier. Maybe we need that extra bit of damage to take down Sylar if they do manage to get on top of them.
He can't get the attacks off even in the fights though because of like all the halberds coming in and all the different ways. It's like if Stone Gaze gets popped, he just has to completely disengage. It almost doesn't feel like an item will actually solve it. It's just gonna have to be through sheer execution. Almost Shakiro now with level 25 too.
VGJ Thunder now starting to get the confidence to sort of push out the lanes and actually leave the base. They're coming out of the high ground. Minos, very close in the neighborhood. Fade, he's got to get eyes on it. Fade, starting to stalk the TA. The team coming through, he's got the stun. Is it going to be enough time for anyone else to get in? He's got the Yule Scepter as well. Buying time. They've got the Static Storm down. Do they have the damage to take in though? The Song comes through. Schofield, got the silence, holds them back, but is it going to be enough?
He lives at 50.
BKB, the refraction on the side. They come in with the two-man ice buff. They're trying for the rift out. Can Yang get them back to safety in time? He'll take DDC out, but Fade will fall. InFamous. Keep Minos safe.
50 HP.
I mean, but what can InFamous do with this? It is just to support Nyx Assassin off, and he does have buyback Fade. And ghosts were expended for that attempt.
They can continue to farm. That's what they can do.
Peter closing in on money for both the refresher and buyback.
Yeah, we're gonna see lots of moon shards come out too.
Still wants to see, as you say. Minos adding to the attack speed.
It's always gonna be really scary for InFamous whenever they try to make aggressive plays because of the threat that Thunder's been showing here. That Yules into Aghanim Static Storm.
Lost the control from Fade to allow him to sort of go out on the front lines, buy time for the rest of the team to come in. Upgraded bots now on Sylar, so if Fade does go for those sort of plays again, you sort of have Sylar sitting at the base, holding the fort. If the Nyx Assassin gets a lock on, you're going to see that Medusa TP in and look to quickly find the kill. InFamous once again though, maintaining control around the Roche pit. And Thunder will not be able to get here in time, so InFamous once again find the shard, he ages the cheese.
What is it, Schofield this time for the shard? Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Maybe just to hold it on for later.
Yeah, I mean Pepita, he has his own refresher up done now.
Yeah. Whenever he wants to buy it, that is. He's had the gold for it for quite a while.
Yeah, he's holding back on it, as you say.
Yeah.
I guess just wanting to be super cautious and make sure he does have everything available down bottom Fade. He's got the Yule set up, stun not in time. Peter will get the chance to BKB, turns towards the Disruptor, Hex as well, a quick force from Fade, trying to get this Disruptor out of there, back to safety. The Static Storm is of quite some importance for these defenses. And if he wants to use it, he'll have to buy back. Yang going for the Rift back to base. Do they have the damage to kill him off in time? They do not. Yang will survive, he gets back. The push now to come in from InFamous. VGJ Thunder, they do have that buyback available on the Disruptor. How long until the Static Storm's up though? He does not have it at the moment.
40 seconds.
40 seconds, no Aghanim Static Storm. A big timing for InFamous to maybe abuse.
All right, Exorcism being used, the first one at least.
Here comes the push. Can they find the catch? They start to tickle away at the tier 4 towers. Minos moving forward, Song from Schofield, looking to set up on the backline. They get the nullify, the ice path below down is not enough, 4 stars there, pulling Sylar back, the Hex is down onto Pepita, BKB popped by Freeze, disarm onto the TA, the damage for this Rapier, Sylar forces forward, he looks towards Minos, but he gets the BKB, refraction off, Minos survives for now, Miku holds him back with
Sylar in trouble,
back in the middle, Sylar being focused, but he's still alive, he's hitting them down, the damage is too much from this Medusa. InFamous, they have to get out of there, but Minos sort of left behind. Up top, Glimpse, back onto the Jakiro, dragging him into the Static Storm bottom. The Yule set up and then blinks out in time. He had the refraction, he gets the blink away, but Schofield will fall. They get the Disruptor, and VGJ, they get the big one. They find Minos' TA. They continue to hold.
Sylar just being super patient there with the BKB. As soon as he gets that on it, there is no way that they can bring him down. And that was how many of the shards? Only one of the shards expended, the Aegis, and one of the cheeses.
They got one of the tier 4s. And
They did.
Progress. Oh, look at this, yes, I'm the gold of Medusa. Sylar's farmed this game at a level that we haven't seen for quite some time on Sylar. This is new heights that he is achieving in this match on his Medusa. And it's absolutely working out. InFamous, for pretty much the entirety of this game, they've had around the 7 to 10k gold lead, but they just haven't been able to close things up. Big items coming out for some of them. You've got another nullifier now, picked up by Stinger on his Night Stalker. So all these sort of single target control, everything they can try and throw down onto Sylar to work around the Mantis, the BKBs, the Lotus Swords that defensively coming out from Yang. They somehow have to stop Sylar in these fights. But as we've seen with the 4-staff plays and such, so many ways that VGJ Thunder are bringing their performance together as a 5-man to keep Sylar fighting.
And as long as Yang pretty much just sits on top of that Dusa, that damage reduction is going to play a huge factor in. Miss though, they are smoked. They're looking to try to get some pick outside the base. Fade does show himself now. Sylar is revealed as well.
I want to try and catch them off guard whilst Minos is off. With TA dead, they may not expect this VGJ Thunder.
Yeah.
Fade and Yang. Sweeping around, they got eyes on Schofield. Schofield with the blink out. Will get away in time. Boosted travel picked up by Minos. As the TA will be ready to join the team. As he heads towards top, keeping all lanes shoved in. Too hard to do, of course, with the Mega creeps up, and VGJ Thunder at this stage still yet to take out even a tier 3 of their own.
A nice Octarine pin picked up for Miku, the Jakiro. Level 25, so that ice path, it is pretty ridiculous. 3.75 second duration with only a 6.75 second cooldown. The Song.
They managed to catch a lot. Can they get some sort of perfect setup here? They're bringing in the rest of the team. The ice path is down. It's going to catch on to 3.
They're going for the base.
As well. There's the second Song in indeed. They're holding on the side because Minos and Pepita, they're in the base. The refresher Song, the ice path duration, it's holding Thunder away from the
base is going down.
They're doing it. Exorcism. The damage from Minos is
GG.
enough. GG is called.
The double song!
Schofield there! I mean, he really has been the man of Infamous in many games, but the play from Schofield and the Naga Siren finally closing up this game for Infamous. The double song holding VGJ Thunder out. They just came too far away from that Ancient.
Yeah, as soon as they left that base, that was definitely like Schofield making a call. You see they like line up the ice path and everything, but they're like, no, just double song, let them get that split push. Perfect execution by Infamous, and Thunder was holding it for a very, very long time with those rapiers.
You've got to give them credit. You got Sylar. You know, he's playing his backside off there with the double rapiers, doing everything he can.
You have to give Thunder credit, but you also have to give a lot of credit to Infamous for the patience. A lot of other teams, they may have made the mistake of just trying to end it over and over again, but they get these refreshers, they make a plan, and they execute it.
Because, sure, we saw a lot of pushes from Infamous sort of fall apart, but each and every time, what was sort of the worst outcome? They lose a couple of supports,
Yeah, one or two
maybe they lose
heroes.
a core. They never go in as 5, they never get wiped. There's never sort of that chance for VGJ Thunder to push back themselves. And wow, ladies and gentlemen, so game 1 going to Infamous. I can't wait for the rest of this series. It's going to be incredible.